early shit. Anyway, welcome to Overtime Sports Talk. Wake up, baby. You know why? Sports. That's why. I am here with my co-host, co-founder, Hollywood J Black. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm alive. Hold on.
I know I seem a little amped up this morning. I apologize.
You do seem a little amped up this morning, and I like it. Oh,
you know why? Because I just crawled out of bed at 6:15. To me, that's sleeping in.
Well, that's good. That's good. Give me a second here. I gotta turn it down because I don't want too much feedback. Because apparently they can still hear you in my in the microphone and my earphones. But that's good. Well, anyways.
Well, I'm sorry I talked.
So yesterday was a great day. Yesterday was a great day. Today is an even better day. You know why?
Is this a segue into the first topic?
No, actually, I was just gonna say it's just good to be alive, sir. Because people like us, we should have been dead a long time ago. We should have been statistics. Now we're doing shit on Facebook and YouTube, rocking the fucking house, and that's a fucking awesome thing. Sir. That is a fucking awesome thing, and you can't take that away from me. That's for goddamn sure. So
I would never try to, my friend.
Oh no, I lost my Facebook. People. Hold on.
Oh no.
Oh no! Yep, we're good. No, wait. Up. Hold on.
So while he's fiddling with his camera, I am going to go into our first segue, which happens to be the NBA news scores and why his camera keeps dropping. That leads to the perfect segue of Lou Williams of the Los Angeles basketball Clippers dropping 50 points and defeating this man's Golden State Warriors. So, sir, how do you feel about that?
It took one man to drop 50 points to beat the Golden State Warriors. So,
is that a detriment to the Golden State Warriors? Yes, it is.
No, it is not. That's actually... I'm not even mad. I'm impressed, actually. To be honest with you, fucking Lou Williams. We all know Lou Williams. If you don't know Lou Williams in the basketball circles, you should know that Lou Williams.
He is a baller.
He's a more consistent Nick Young. When he gets going, there's no stopping him, and when he doesn't get going, he will still eventually get going. He's been averaging like 20 plus per night over the last like 10, 11 games or so.
And he's been averaging 22.3.
Yeah, so then that tells you everything that you need to know about Mr. Lou Williams. So shout out to Lou Williams for beating my Golden State Warriors. You did good, kid.
But your super team of 5 lost to one guy.
Actually, no. So hold on a second now before we start jumping the gun.
I'm just trying to do my impression of you when you talk about the 49ers 6-game winning streak at the end of the season.
Hey, Steph Curry slipped on a what was that verse that Eminem said on Bad Meets Evil 2? He said slipped on a patch of black ice, forgot we had a trailer hitched to the back, we jackknifed. Apparently Steph Curry slipped on something in the middle of warm-ups and he was out for the rest of the game.
Well, that's on the ball boys for not taking care of their home court better than they do.
So Steph Curry was out. And even Steph Curry being out, they still had to drop 50 in order to beat the Golden State Warriors. What was the score? Hold on. We got to take a look at the score again.
1-something to 1-something.
Yeah, so 125 to 106. So if Lou Williams had not scored 50 points, we would have beat them 106 to 75. Alarms going off, sir?
Yeah, I don't know why, but okay.
Aren't you awake already? Damn.
I guess so.
He needs 2 alarms, ladies and gentlemen. Big sin, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, the fucked up part is I slept through 3 of my alarms on my phone this morning, which is why I'm so amped right now because I hate waking up late.
Oh, Lord. He's like, fuck. So
that's what happens when you're sick and you're jacked up on fucking vitamins and NyQuil and DayQuil and everything.
All kinds of quill.
So the other game from last night we didn't get to finish was the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks, which Chicago Bulls rookie Lauri Markkanen dropped 33 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in the Bulls' 122-119 overtime win over the New York Knicks last night.
That boy Lauri Markkanen. I call him McConan because you remember that dude that made this song, got the club going up on a Tuesday. Yeah, that's
goes up on Tuesday.
Yeah, so Lauri McConan. His name is McConan now. He's not Markkanen anymore. Lauri McConan, ladies and gentlemen. He has the Bulls going up on a Wednesday. Posterized in his cancer last night. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful piece of artistry, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Beasley continuing his wonderful play, dropping 26 points on 10 of 22 shooting. Let's talk about Michael Beasley for a second. I really want to discuss Michael fucking Beasley. That's his name, Michael effing Beasley. So Michael Beasley this year, he's played in so many games. Okay, all right. So this year, yes, he's averaging 12.4 points a game. He's averaging 5.1 rebounds a game, and he has 1.3 assists per game. Okay, those stats on the outside looking in do not look impressive at all. But if you look at it, he's a sixth man, so he's the first man off the bench. He's the fire starter from the bench. This man can drop 20 or 30 on any given night if he's called to do so. I mean, he's really the main reason why the Knicks are even in playoff contention. Let's talk. I mean, I know when we talk about Michael Beasley, it's usually in shame. Every time we discuss Michael Beasley.
You want to know what I think of the Knicks playoff contention?
What?
Oh no! Oh no! Okay, let's be completely 100 real with everything right now. The only reason the Knicks might make the playoffs because of how weak the fucking Eastern Conference is. They are weak. W-E-E-K, W-E-A-K, however you want to spell it, they are weak.
Yes, weak. All right, so let's go over the standings for the Eastern Conference because I think that needs to be a thing that needs to be talked about as it stands right now.
As we kill time.
As we kill time. We don't want to waste your time, but we know that you love watching us. So we want to give you something to think about for a second. So we have Boston at 33-10 at the top, and then the Indiana Pacers holding on barely the eighth seed at 21-20. Right behind them is the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York basketball Knicks.
So if the playoffs were to start today, here would be your first round matchups in the Eastern Conference. And I want you to tell me if they intrigue you in the least, okay? We got Indiana at the 8th seed taking on Boston.
I like that matchup.
We have Detroit taking on Toronto.
I don't give a shit about that.
We would have the Bucks taking on Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would like that one.
That's the matchup I wanted to see in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah, but shit happens.
Again, for like the umpteenth time, we have the Washington Bullets taking on the Miami Heat.
He said the Bullets. Yeah, they're the Bullets. On this show, they will not be called the Wizards. They will be called the Bullets. I just want to let everybody know that. And that just is what it is.
And now on the Western Conference, what do you think? Who would come out of the East if the playoffs were to start today?
So I think Boston would beat Indiana, but it would be in 7 games because Indiana is really good. I think that Detroit would upset Toronto.
Yeah, with the Kyle Lowry injury and DeMar DeRozan not knowing how to carry that team without Kyle Lowry, yes, Detroit Pistons would beat the Toronto Raptors.
All right, so Cleveland, Milwaukee, I think that goes to 6 or 7 because that LeBron James, Giannis, and I want to give Jason Kidd a lot of credit for managing a team that really outside of Giannis, and he's a home-built star, doesn't have any stars, but they play extremely well together. And now that they added Eric Bledsoe, they have a legitimate point guard. I mean, just saying, and they're deep too. But I think Cleveland beats them in the 6 or 7. Washington and Miami is a little bit of an intriguing matchup because Washington personnel-wise is really, really good. However, Miami team-wise is really, really good. I'd have to give the edge to Washington in that matchup. So you then would end up with a weird playoff scenario where you'd have Boston Boston playing, I think Boston playing Detroit, and then you'd have Cleveland playing Washington again.
And it ended up Boston, Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals once again.
I really honestly think, on my heart of hearts, that Boston is going to end up in the NBA Finals.
All right, so now the Western Conference, if the playoffs were to start today, since we are about halfway through the season, that's why I'm going through this. Yeah. We would have the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Golden State Warriors, the Denver Nuggets taking on the Houston Rockets, the Thunder taking on the Spurs, and the Portland taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So here's where the fun begins. So I think Golden State just outshoots New Orleans out of the arena.
But New Orleans will punch them in the mouth.
Yeah, but the problem is the Golden State is going to make them play Golden State ball, which means that DeMarcus Cousins becomes irrelevant because he's not going to be running for 36, 40 minutes a game. Anthony Davis can do it all day long, 24/7, 365, because he used to be a point guard until he ended up growing 8 inches before his freshman year.
You know what I can predict right now in that series?
What?
That both DeMarcus Cousins and Draymond Green will be ejected and suspended for games for fighting.
Which would be the best thing to ever happen to playoff basketball, ladies and gentlemen.
But you know that should have happened.
It's just like sex with Kobe Bryant. You can struggle all you want to, but it's gonna happen.
The Black Mamba, baby. The Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba always wraps his body around you. Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
Anyways, so then we have Houston and Denver, which Houston, that's a sweep. Get out the broom for that one. I don't even know why Denver is even competing. I know why.
Denver's actually played really good this year.
Yeah, but all they have is Nikola Jokic. And because the guy that they did pay to actually be on the team is out for the rest of the season, Paul Millsap. So then you'd have San Antonio and Oklahoma City in a matchup. And I guarantee there's two things I can guarantee you is that Westbrook will average a triple-double in the series. And San Antonio is going to win in 5 games. And then you'd have Minnesota and Portland. Minnesota is so far ahead of Portland, it's not even funny. And that's all love to my boy Dame Lillard from Oakland. Oakland stand up. You know how we do it in the town business. That's how we do. But Minnesota is a squad. We've talked about this for the last couple days now. Minnesota is a deep, 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 deep squad. I think they beat Portland in 5.
Yeah, I see that. I see Minnesota actually making a run to the Western Conference Finals.
I think Portland, because then you end up with a Golden State Minnesota series, and then a Houston San Antonio series, the Battle of Texas, and then the Battle of Golden State Minnesota.
And we all know that the beard does not show up in the playoffs, so it'll be San Antonio, Golden State in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, but this is the one I worry about, though. So Minnesota, right? Minnesota is – so the big cat can run. But that's not the intriguing matchup here. Tom Thibodeau's defense has been able to stop players galore. Like they've stopped – I mean, if it wasn't for Derrick Rose going out with that injury, I don't think that Miami would have won that series against the Bulls. Remember that year? I don't think they would have won because even the Bulls snuck away with 2 games in that series. So Tom Thibodeau has a way to lock down star players, and the Golden State and Minnesota played 3 times this year. Minnesota's beaten them once. Golden State has beaten them twice. But when Minnesota beat them, the Minnesota wasn't even at full strength at the time that they beat them, which was more recent. So I don't know. That's the one team I'm actually worried about is Minnesota. I'm not worried about San Antonio because I think San Antonio, they played too much boring ball to keep up with Golden State. And that's no disrespect.
And I know it's a little weird for you to say that you're actually worried about Minnesota.
Yeah, I am. And I seriously am. Because Tom Thibodeau has proven, he's proven, this is not something that's made up or myth. He's proven that with the best players on, when he has his best players on the court, he can do some serious damage. That's why he got Jimmy Butler. That's why he got Taj Gibson. That's why he's invested so much in Karl Anthony Towns. It is why he begged the GM to get Jeff Teague. These are guys that Tom Thibodeau wanted. He got them, and you see where they're at. They went from being the last team in the Western Conference to being the number 4 team in the Western Conference. And I'm willing to even put this out there that I think Tom Thibodeau should be coach of the year. I tipped over.
Sorry. I am inclined to agree with you, my friend.
I don't see it otherwise.
Because by the end of the season, let's be real, the Minnesota Timberwolves, if they keep gelling and playing where they are, could be the number 2 seed in the Western Conference easily.
5 games back behind Houston. Minnesota's won their last 3 games, and Houston's without James Harden at least until the middle of the month. This is going to be the time that they can actually come up on Houston before the All-Star break. And if they can do it and put their foot down on the throat of the entire Western Conference after that, sky's the limit. And also, too, you got to forget, Tom Thibodeau knows the entire Eastern Conference. So when they have to play those Eastern Conference games, you have an experienced coach that knows how to deal with every single one of those. Because remember, the majority of the coaches on the Eastern Conference that he played with against the playoffs, Dwayne Casey's there from Toronto. Your boy's still there from Detroit, Van Gundy. He's still there. Jason Kidd, he played against him when played against him as a coach when he was in Milwaukee. Cleveland, Tyronn Lue, he was there. Miami, your boy Spoelstra, he was there. Your boy that's on Boston right now, he was there. Washington has the same coach that Tom Thibodeau played against and defeated a few times.
Yeah,
Tom Thibodeau I'm worried, very, very worried about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and this is coming from a stout Golden State fan.
Now, with that being said, let's move on over to our minimal because there's not that many games going on in the NHL. A recap of last night's scores. We had the Ottawa team defeating the Toronto ones 4-3.
The Senators beating the Maple Leafs. He said
I had a brain fart for a second, okay?
It's all good. You're allowed. Everybody gets one.
Then we had the Minnesota Wild defeating the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1. And now today's game slate, we only have 3 games on deck because they're about to head into their All-Star weekend and the Winter Olympics coming up. If you don't know about the Winter Olympics, they do have NHL players who play for each country in the Winter Olympics. But tonight's slate of games, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets at the Buffalo Sabres. We have the Carolina Hurricanes against the Washington Capitals. And we have the Calgary Flames taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Should be some interesting hockey matchups tonight. Definitely looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning because, of course, the plan is to have the Lightning and the Golden Knights play for the Stanley Cup this year. So we'll see.
So now we're going to quickly move into our next topic. And, of course, that is the NFL. Not much here to talk about except
what we have to talk about is actually huge in itself. So that's why we're going to skip the playoff predictions until tonight because we have a lot to talk about for that. But
so as of yesterday, the NFL is launching a probe into the Oakland Raiders for their hiring of John Gruden. Now, during the press conference, the Oakland Raiders team did say they did interview a couple of minority candidates, one being one of their coordinators, and one being the offensive coordinator from USC. But I guess that didn't I guess that don't matter to Roger Goodell in the NFL due to the fact that they are still going after the Raiders. And we all know if you don't bend to Roger Goodell's will, he's going to investigate you.
Well, that's right. I mean, here's the deal. Remember, the main thing comes from this. When they talked about this before they fired Jack Del Rio, before they even fired him, they stated that John Gruden was going to be the next coach of the Oakland Raiders. Knowing that there's a Rooney Rule, I just have one question. How fucking stupid can you be that you announce your move before you actually make it?
And like I said, when we first talked about this subject on, what was it, Tuesday?
Yep.
We talked about that night. I said the Rooney Rule should only be, what's the word I'm looking for, James? Applied if you have not targeted the person you want to have as your next coach. If you are targeting a singular person and that person says yes, there should be no reason to talk to other applicants, in my opinion, because that is the person you feel in your heart of hearts. And if you heard Mark Davis's comments at the Oakland Raiders press conference, in his heart of hearts, John Gruden is who is best for Oakland.
No, and I perfectly agree, and that's fine. The problem is, back to the original Rooney Rule itself, is that you can't show your hand before the rest of the players are dealt, especially if you know this is the route that you want to go. We know that there's a rule in place. Phil, you know that when you go to work, if you're late, you get in trouble, right? This is something.
Yeah.
So you know that the rule is in place. So what happens if you tell everybody but your job that, oh, man, fuck this shit. I'm going to be late, fam. I'm going to be just late to work. Fuck it. It is what it is. I don't care. You're going to get in trouble. And matter of fact, they're going to be like, you already knew you was going to be late. You didn't tell nobody. And the place got robbed. Now it's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
That is completely different. Okay. That's being a rule for being late. That is not a rule for hiring somebody. Yes, I understand you need to make it look like you're interested in other candidates, but in a corporation like the NFL, like other corporations, they have people called headhunters for a reason. They go after certain people. And at this time, Mark Davis knew Jack Del Rio was gone. He knew John Gruden. He wanted John Gruden. He's wanted John Gruden for the last 6 years, like some psycho prom night stalker stalking the fucking popular guy in school who didn't get the fucking date. Yes, Mark Davis looks like the Scarecrow. Yes, John Gruden looks like Chucky. Right now, Chucky and the Scarecrow are going to have a baby called the Oakland Raiders, and they're still going to miss the playoffs.
Yes, but as long as the rule is still in place, you have to follow the rules, and the rules state that you have to interview a minority candidate. I agree. We agree about the whole. We think that the rule should apply in this circumstance, and we agree on that. This is something that we've agreed on. However, the rule is still in place, and that's just the way it is. So if the Raiders get docked something, they knew that the rule was in place. It's not like Mark Davis is a new owner. He's been around forever.
So you know what I'm just going to say? You know what I'm going to say to people who question this rule?
What?
Quit, pull the sand out of your vagina, quit being so goddamn sensitive, and let the professional team do what they want to do because that's who they wanted. And goddamn it, James, quit dropping the goddamn camera.
I'm sorry. God damn it, I don't know what's wrong. I think we have an earthquake or something. I don't know. You're
in Florida, motherfucker. You have hurricanes, not earthquakes.
Fuck, got the wrong natural disaster. Fuck, okay. All right, well, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways.
We got 7 minutes left of the broadcast.
Yay! We got to talk about the big thing. There we go. Hold on. So we have our next topic on hand, and this is a topic that I like to talk about. Well, not really. I don't really like to talk about this topic, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
We like playing the video games regarding golf.
Yes. So the PGA Sony Open starts today. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. My main man, my snowman, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is back playing PGA golf in his first major tournament of 2018 since his shoulder surgery.
The ironic thing about this is the same tournament that he ended his season on last year.
Anyways, he's a party pooper. Don't worry about the party poopers. Anyways, so
motherfucker, I'm the life of the party.
So Tiger Woods, in honor of Tiger Woods, ESPN has been running stories all week regarding Tiger Woods and his personal relationships and blah 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 blah. We've talked about this. Where is it at? So they've been talking to Lindsey Vonn, Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend, and they always asking personal questions, and they're like, I was in love with Tiger Woods. So was every chick that he was boning while he was boning his wife, ladies and gentlemen. You're not the only one. Stop whining and hit the slopes or something. I don't care. But the whole point of what I'm trying to say.
You know what I got to say about Lindsey Vonn?
What?
Yeah, girl, you got some thick-ass thighs. Anyway.
That's the real news story, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Oh, Lordy.
No, but real talk, though, I mean, you're going to be seeing a lot of personal stories about Tiger Woods in anticipation of this. Try not to dive into the personal stories and just have fun. That goes.
Well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not to dive into the personal stories when they're getting jammed down your throat like a fucking Because one of my bad analogies, like the Black Mamba did that fucking hostess in Colorado.
Oh Lord! Like I said, it's gonna happen anyway.
But real talk. I watched the coverage of Tiger Woods' last tournament that he played, his invitational that he played. He actually looked really good. He wasn't lipping. His power game looked good. He needs to get his short game back. But I think Tiger might actually make it through these cuts this time.
Yeah, well, he finished 2 days in the top 5. He just didn't make it through Saturday's cut, the last tournament. So I look for Tiger Woods to actually do his thug thizzle. I think he's there. He's almost there. I shout out to Tiger Woods. I hope if you're a fan of golf, I hope you like to see Tiger Woods at least in the top 10 going all the way into Sunday strokes, just because I think he's good for the game. I mean, he's a man that's.
And remember,
he
remember when you're talking about strokes.
Yeah.
Remember the face, arms, slurred speech.
The man was hit in the head with a golf club by his wife while he was on Xanax.
No, his vehicle was hit with a golf club while he was on Xanax.
Well, do you not think that a golf club, a titanium golf club, can shatter through a window and hit the person's head at the same time?
He just needs to quit being a bitch and quit cheating on his wife.
And he's a professional sports player. They all cheat on their wives.
So with that being said, you hear the seagulls popping up in the background.
I hate Brenda and a bad guy.
Who is Brenda and why does he hate her?
All in my pants.
I have no idea.
All right, Jay. All right, Mr. Black, what you got for the peeps?
What do I got for the peeps? I have Hennessy shots for the peeps. So I have nothing for you guys. No, but I tell you what I have. First, I want to tell everybody thank you for watching the Simple Black Entertainment Show here on YouTube and on Facebook. YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm looking at you guys right now. Hi. If you're watching on YouTube right now, what we want you to go ahead and do, if you love watching our show, what we'd like to go ahead and do is subscribe to the Simple Black Entertainment YouTube channel. And when you're watching the channel, you'll go ahead and see the best that Simple Black Entertainment has to offer, including video games, sports shows, random videos, all that good stuff that we keep telling you about. But if you're already subscribed, you already know about it. Now, if you're not subscribed or following there, you need to hop on that now on Facebook. I'm talking to y'all gangsters over there. If you are watching on Facebook, like the Simple Black Entertainment page. You're gonna love it. I promise you. We got everything under the new sun. I've been putting sports memes every other day. We're going to start doing it on every day. Sports memes, folks, sports memes. We're going to keep you entertained all day long. Now, make sure, Mr. Sim, this is your turn. And let them know to make sure that where they can go to get quality content.
All righty, people. If you are here on YouTube, what I want you to do is you see my two little demons right there to the left of the anything else. Go ahead and look over to the right. You'll see them right down there if you're watching after this live stream. Highlight them. If the button is bright red, that means you haven't clicked subscribe yet and you're burning their asses. Now, click subscribe, take the heat off because we already know our shows are lit. Our shows are fire. There's enough heat coming from us. It doesn't need to come from you. Also, hit that little bell icon in the corner so you know when we are live here at Simple Black. I'm live with random gameplays all the time. Other shit that I do. As for Facebook, you motherfuckers over there, you guys rock. I'm telling you that right now. And that's because we get mad views over there on the Facebook land. Just because, and one of the reasons for that is whenever anybody's strolling through their story and they're in our friends list, they see our pretty asses sitting here talking shit. And they're probably annoyed by it by now. Seeing on how we start at 6:30 in the morning.
At 6:30 at night or 9:30 at night Eastern time. Yes, we annoy the shit out of you probably, or you're just so fucking entertained and intrigued by us that you're like, fuck, these dudes are fucking awesome. That's the reviews I get at work. So
I actually got some messages from people at work telling me that they have turned off notifications to these shows.
And meanwhile, I have people at work that have turned on notifications to these shows because they love it when they see us. It's pretty fun. So
it is what it is. And that's because you start work at 12 o'clock. I start work at 7 a.m.
Well, there's only one word. Well, wake your mother asses up. 5 words. Wake your motherfucking asses up.
And finally, don't go to sleep.
Exactly.
We'll see you guys later on. Deuces.